I couldn't move, and the snakes wouldn't stop watching me. Their black eyes glistened under the moonlight, like drops of oil. I counted 6, then 8, then 12 of them slithering closer, their bodies coiling over each other in slow, deliberate waves. My heart pounded so loud, I thought it would burst. I didn't believe the stories. None of us did. The elders always said that if you stole from the guardian of the snakes, you would regret it, but we laughed at their warnings. We called them old tales meant to scare children. That night, under the shadow of the great Iroko tree, I learned the truth. It started 2 weeks ago. My cousin, Chima, came back from the next village with wild tales. He said he'd found something in the forest, a hidden shrine where an old, blind woman lived. According to Chima, she called herself Ezenwanyi, the snake mother, and she guarded a treasure that could make anyone reach beyond their dreams. Chima wanted us to go with him. He said he needed help carrying the treasure. I told him it was a bad idea, but he called me a coward. My younger brother, Obi, agreed to join him, so I couldn't let them go alone. I didn't trust Chima. His greed had gotten us into trouble before. The first time we went, we didn't find the shrine. We spent hours in the forest, pushing through thick bushes and swatting at mosquitoes, but there was nothing. Chima got frustrated and yelled into the trees, daring the snake mother to show herself. Obi and I begged him to stop, but he wouldn't listen. The next day, Chima said he dreamed of the shrine and knew where to find it. I should have walked away then, but something about the way he spoke, the gleam in his eyes, the certainty in his voice, made me curious. We followed him deep into the forest. The trees grew so tall and thick that the sunlight barely reached the ground. It was quiet, too quiet. Even the birds seemed afraid to sing. Finally, we came to a clearing with a strange stone altar at the center. The shrine was real. It was small, overgrown with moss and vines, but unmistakable. Chima grinned and stepped forward, ignoring the carvings of snakes etched into the stone. Obi hesitated, but when Chima laughed and called him weak, he followed. I stayed back, something about the place making my skin crawl. Chima reached into a hollow in the altar and pulled out a small, wooden box. He opened it, and we all stared. Inside were gold coins, glowing faintly as if lit from within. My heart jumped, but before I could speak, a voice came from behind us. "Do you know what you're doing?" We spun around. An old woman stood there, her milky eyes fixed on nothing. She held a long staff carved with snakes, its head gleaming like polished ebony. Chima didn't answer. He slammed the box shut and backed away. "We're leaving," he said. The woman raised her staff. "The snakes see everything. They protect what is theirs." Chima laughed and ran. Obi and I followed, but the forest seemed to close in around us. Branches tore at our clothes, and the ground seemed to shift beneath our feet. When we finally stopped, gasping for air, Chima opened the box again. The coins were gone. In their place were snake scales, shimmering and black. Chima cursed and threw the box to the ground. That's when we heard the hissing. It started softly, like the rustling of leaves, but it grew louder, closer. Dozens of snakes emerged from the shadows, their bodies gleaming in the dim light. They surrounded us, cutting off every path. Chima tried to run, but he didn't get far. The snakes moved as one, their bodies twisting together to form a wall. He screamed, swinging a branch at them, but it was no use. Obi and I froze. The old woman's voice echoed in my head, "The snakes see everything." I don't remember how long we stood there, too terrified to move. When the snakes finally retreated, Chima was gone. All that was left was the box, now empty. We ran back to the village and told the elders what happened. They didn't seem surprised. One of them, a wrinkled man with a face like carved wood, said, "The snake mother has her ways. She takes what is hers, and she punishes greed. I don't go into the forest anymore. Sometimes, at night, I hear hissing outside my window. The elders say it's just the wind, but I know better. The snakes are watching. They always are."